Hello, this is Dustin Burrell with CIS Networking 102 class. Today we're doing a packet tracer, which is 10.1.3.3, and is configuring DHCP using Cisco IOS. So to get started on this, we'll just talk about the scenario a little bit. The four things we're going to be doing is part 1, configure a router as a DHCP server. Part 2, configure the DHCP relay. And then part 3, configure a router as a DHCP client. And part 4, verify DHCP and connectivity. So our scenario is a dedicated DHCP server is scalable and relatively easy to manage, but can be costly to have one at every location in the network. So basically that's the problem. We don't need one in every single location of this network. However, a Cisco router can be configured to provide DHCP services without need for a dedicated server. Cisco routers use the Cisco IOS feature set. Easy IP as an optional, full-featured DHCP server. Easy IP leases configurations for 24 hours by default as the network technician for your company. You are tasked with configuring a Cisco router as a DHCP server to provide dynamic allocation of the addresses to clients on the network. You are also required to configure the edge router as the DHCP client so that it receives an IP address from the internet service provider network. Yeah, that made a lot of sense too, huh? So basically, we're going to just start right here. Touchy. There. Jeez, I hate that. We're going to configure the excluded IPv4 addresses first on router 2, so let's just get inside that. Oh, I need to reset my activity, so we can go from start. Not going to be much of a challenge if I don't do that. Okay, so now that the activity is reset, in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's fast forward my time so I can get connection going. A couple times. Go into R2. Command line interface, enable conf T for global executive mode, and then our first command that we're going to be doing is like it said configure R2 to exclude the first 10 addresses, so we want to enter IPDHCP excluded address 192.168.10.1 with a space of 192.168.10.10. See this N1? This is basically 1 through 10 getting excluded. Make sure you pay attention to your completion rate on this activity because it's very crucial that you do the steps in order on this one. Not necessarily, but I didn't do it in order and I didn't get to 100%. When I did it in order, I got to 100%. So there's the first one for 5% for your first command. After your second command, it should be at 10%, which is going to be IP DHCP excluded address 192.168 and then 0.30 1 through 10. So we want to end with 1 on this address. And then 30 and a 10 on this address. Okay, so that will exclude the 1 through 10 addresses on those two. And our next command is create a DHC pool on R2 for the R1 LAN. Right down here. Create a DHC pool. So what we're going to do is just enter IP DHCP pool. And we're going to call it R1, 1/LAN, all capitalized. Should be at 14% after that. And our next configuration is we got to get the network going. So configure the DHC pool to include the network address, the default gateway, and the IP address of the DN server. And the reason why you're wondering why I had to do that is because it's DHCP assigned for the network that we're going to create through DHCP. So next command is network 192.168.10.0 with a subnet mask, which is a C 255.255.255.0. Enter that. Oops, invalid. I just already saw that. Okay, hope that didn't mess me up in any way. I think we're good. That puts me at the 22% where I'm supposed to be, and then we need a default router, which is 192.168.10.1. Get the default route set up for router 1, and then a DNS server of 192.168.254.20. Oops, did it backwards. 20.254. So now we're going to be able to exclude some addresses that aren't necessary. Now we need to create a DH pool on R2 for R3 LAN also. So IP DHCP pool R3-LAN. Okay, so we've got our names set up. We got both our pools set up for the R3 LAN and R1 LAN. Now we need to continue with the networking for router 3 because we've already done it for router 1. So same thing. We're just going to go network. Make sure I'm in DHCP config mode. 192.168.30.0 and then 255.255.255.0. And your next one is going to be the default router. Default router, which is 192.168.30.1. Enter that. Should be sitting about 46%, and we are. And then you want to put the DNS server on this one too. It's the same address and everything. There you go. 50% now. That's where we should be. Now we also want to put a configured DHCP relay on here. And this is where we actually go outside of the router too. But everything, the main reason we mess with router 2 so much is look at how important that is. That's like the backbone of the network. So there's a lot of configurations with that. So R1, we're going to have to go into command line interface. And